Good evening to Dr. Luke. We are Group 7 students from Statistics dan Perniagaan Maritime Class 2. Today, we would like to present the impact of environmental turbulence toward commercial fishing in Malaysia. This report is talk about the fish sector has been decades been playing an important role as a major supplier of animal protein to the Malaysian population. Majority of fish from the marine capture sector is sold in fresh and child form, while those from aquaculture are marketed in live form directly to restaurants. Malaysia is a net importer of fishery products as it is a country offering quite high protein for fishery products. After the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, enterprise from the fishery sector has been affected. However, our group has made a survey on this issue of how pandemic and political turbulence affect the aquaculture sector. The study conducted by us is about customer satisfaction, market effectiveness, and organization capabilities in disaster turbulence and political turbulence. It has been submitted in several such websites. Last, this is referring to some recovery and strategy of fish industry during disaster turbulence and political turbulence. The company use quantitative method to collect data. We create a questionnaire with 58 questions in 3 parts. The Malaysia Marine Coral and Fish Washer Company from Sabah accepted our questionnaire survey. We will collect 30 respondents from the same company. We will create 8 questions for Part A, personal background. According to pie chart question 1, we can find that the amount of the respondents was 21 years old until 30 years old. In pie chart question 2, show respondent female were more than male. And pie chart question 3, show most of the respondent was Malay. Chart question 4 show 56.7% of respondent is single and 33.3% respondent was married. Most of the respondent was employee who has just started working for no more than 5 years. The pie chart question 6 show the respondents has a high education level. Most of education level was degree. This pie chart show 100% of respondent employment sector was private. This is because this questionnaire was answered by the company. And the last pie chart show most of respondent was supervisor.
According to Part B, which is about environment turbulence, which is disaster turbulence, COVID-19 in customer satisfaction, shows mean, mode, median, variance, and standard deviation that has 30 respondents and 5 questions. The mean that shows the highest is in question 1 and the lowest in question 4. Next, the median shows question 4 is 3.00 while question 1, 2, 3 and 5 are 4.00. The mode shows on question 1, 2 and 5 is 4 and question 3 and 4 are 3. Next, the standard deviation shows the highest question 4 and the lowest is question 1. And the last is variance shows the highest is question 4 and the lowest is question 1. In market effectiveness has 30 respondents and has 10 questions. The mean shows question 5 and 7 are the highest and the question 4 is the lowest. Next, the median shows that all the questions are the same, which is 4.00. Further, the mode shows question 3, 4, 9 and 10 are the lowest and question 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 and 8 are the highest. And also, standard deviation shows question 2 is the highest and in question 7 is the lowest. And the last is the variance shows question 2 is also the highest and question 7 is the lowest. And the last data for Part B is organization capabilities. It has 30 respondents and also 10 questions. The mean shows the highest in question 7 and the lowest in question 2 and 8. Next, the median shows that all questions are the same, which is 4.00, and mode in pattern shows question 3 is the lowest, and other than that it is the same, which is 4. Furthermore, standard deviation shows question 2 is the highest and the lowest is question 1, and also 10. And the last is the variance, which show question 2 is the highest and question 1 and 10 were the lowest.
Now I will talk about data analysis in part C for qualitative turbulence. The lower mood data record to customer satisfaction was 3 and the highest was 4. Second, the highest data record for mean was 3.93 and the lowest was 3.50. Next, the higher data recorded for the medium was 4.00 for all questions. Furthermore, the highest data recorded for standard deviation was 1.066 and the lowest was 0.740. Lastly, the highest data record for variance was 1.137 and the lowest was 0.547. Next, data analysis for market effectiveness in part C. First, the lower data for mood was 3 and the highest was 4. Second, the highest data recorded for mean was 3.80 and the lowest was 3.53. Next, the higher data record for median was 4.00 and the lowest was 3.50. Furthermore, the highest data recorded for standard deviation was 0.952 and the lowest was 0.664. Lastly, the highest data record for standard for variance was 0.930 and the lowest was 0.441. Lastly, data analysis for organization capability in part C. First, the lower data for mood was 3 and the highest was 4. Second, the highest data recorded for mean was 3.87 and the lowest was 3.50. Next, the highest data recorded for median was 4 and the lowest was 3.50. Furthermore, the highest data recorded for standard deviation was 1.003 and the lowest data recorded was 0.711. Lastly, the highest data recorded for variance was 1.007 and the lowest was 0.493.
According to Part B, customer satisfaction shows a total of 1 respondent strongly disagree, which is recorded the lowest percentage 3.3% in question 3. The highest percentage, which is from question 5, peaked at almost 50% when a total of 15 respondents agree to the question. The issue here is maybe one of our workers interacts with the customer without put on their mask. After the pandemic of COVID-19 hit the world, wearing a mask is compulsory for everyone. If an employee refuses to wear a mask, the first step is to explain why the mask is required and to link them to state or local regulations. Also try to understand the worker's situation. However, if the worker continues to reject, the company has the option to suspend him or her. In market effectiveness, there was a total of 17 respondents agree on which is recorded the highest amount of percentage, 56.7% in question 6 and 7. The lowest percentage, which is from question 1, 3 and 6, recorded 3.3% when the total of respondents strongly disagree with the questions. It is no wonder that with the pandemic's lockdowns and travel restrictions, everything is moving online. It is one of the effective solutions for market effectiveness in this pandemic when people cannot go out of their home, hence makes everything online. It is an opportunity for companies to increase in organizations wanting to establish or upgrade websites, launch new social media campaigns aimed at home-based workers, and pay greater attention to e-commerce trends and channels. In organization capabilities, there was a total of 14 respondents agree on which is recorded the same amount and the highest percentage, 46.7% in question 1, 6, 8, 9, and 10. The lowest percentage, which is from question 2, 6, 7, 8, and 9, recorded 3.3% when a total of respondents strongly disagree with the questions. This data shows that employees require solutions that improve communication, cooperation, and project management, and it is the responsibility of employers to guarantee that the appropriate technologies are used throughout the epidemic. It's the only way to boost employee satisfaction and give them the tools they need to accomplish their jobs well.
According to Part C, customer satisfaction, question 3 and 5 peak at 53.3%, recorded the highest percentage. This data shows that if a company does not ensure that its brand experience is consistently positive across both online and offline channels, customer will leave. Customer will be satisfied if the company can design a product that satisfies their specific requirements. To understand what customers want, examine data gathered in a variety of ways is one of the solutions. For example, survey from online. In market effectiveness, question 2 marked the highest percentage, 60%. This is because consumer price sensitivity is influenced by a variety of factors, including current economic condition, individual income, the location where the products are offered, and similar product available. When buyer demand for a product is low, manufacturers are hesitant to raise the price. In contrast, if customer demand is high, producers may discover that price increases do not materially reduce the number of units sold. In organization capabilities, question 8 recorded the highest percentage, 53.3%. This data shows that the company should create a comfortable environment for fruitful talks where employees may express themselves. Established communication standards and norms encourage employees to focus on common goals and lead by example in terms of respect and decency. It can promote greater understanding and relationships across the different opinions between employees. Thank you.
This research aimed to evaluate the possible effect COVID-19 on the Malaysian fisheries industry as well as the current politician turbulence in response to a growing number of publications for studies related to environmental turbulence, disaster turbulence, or COVID-19 and politician turbulence. The current data collection represents the first experimentally based investigation into the effect of COVID-19 on the fisheries process. According to the finding of our survey, the majority of respondents anticipate a negative impact on fishing business and activities in three aspects, such as consumer satisfaction, market effectiveness, and organization capabilities, will have a bright future because they see a big opportunity to bear the risk that must be dealt with in the coming months. Although our study may have some limitation, such findings are important from a decision-making perspective and may be the first step in informing the policy-making process. For example, our data set does not reflect the entire Malaysian fisheries industry. Nonetheless, since data collection took place only during the MCO era, we are confident that this data set will be useful in assessing the effect of COVID-19 and political turbulence on the Malaysian fisheries sector. Because of the outbreaks, we were forced to distribute the survey via web-based contacts, and we anticipated that a small number of potential response would be excluded from the current sample size due to connection limitation. Nevertheless, we are confident that the sample size generated is adequate to document the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on the fisheries industry in our studies area.